Glassy again. I want to talk with you about US6370629, its fraud, specifically about the EP0997-808A3 fraud instance and how it affects the use of Tomahawk weapons, as well as the British government's DarkShadow or the French government's Scalp system, which are actually the same missile. This pertains to cruise missiles. It also pertains to the Patriot defense grade as well, but let's stay focused on the Tomahawk. As you know, if you've watched the Raytheon Tomahawk dissertation that I just did, the operations of the Tomahawk weapon system is 100% controlled by the US6370629 patent. So when it's used in a NATO nation or by a NATO nation, then it becomes a problem, a very serious problem, because there is this patent fraud called EP0997-808A3, which is an illegal copy of the US6370629 patent, which was filed in the EU with no authorization and then abandoned. It was done specifically so that US6370629 could never be protected in the EU, and it constitutes a war crime called an appropriation under Rome Statute Section 8(2)(b) Roman numeral 4. Again, 8(2)(b) Roman 4. This appropriation makes the use of the weapon a crime. It makes buying the weapon a crime because you're spending money, oddly enough, using electronic commerce processes that also use US6370629 as part of their methodology. So you're paying for the damn thing. If you're a NATO member, you've committed a crime. If you're somebody like Turkey and NATO's trying to tell you you have to buy this or else, you should just tell them to kiss your ass. Hand them a copy of the EP0997-808A3 patent and say, we know this is a fraud. We can't buy your weapons. Don't you ever, ever try and force us into committing a war crime, you slime balls. And NATO will say to them, do you really want to be a member of us? At which point Turkey will say, well, if it means committing a war crime, is it worth it? And NATO will have to rethink their stance directly. This isn't funny, and it's not a joke. One set of patent frauds controls all the key weapons on the planet Earth because they all use this IP illegally. So it's important for you people to understand what was done to us, Michael and myself, who did it, and why, and how big it's become now. Because literally it controls every smart weapon system on the planet. You say, well, what about the British DarkShadow? Yeah, well, what about DarkShadow? Inertial nav-based system with a GPS navigation buffer on top. It uses the Kratos 1681 Common View GPS systems for setting its time of day clocks to an end. Its initial location is done through the US6370629 patent, meaning the EP0997-808A3 patent fraud that the British basically set up itself. Controls that weapon, both for them and the French. That would mean that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, who both have those weapons, can't use them. They're both signatories to the Rome Statute, so every time they touch that weapon, every time they put one on a plane, fly up, and launch it, it becomes a war crime under Section 8(2)(b) Roman 4. It's that simple and that ugly. What do you do? How do you deal with this? How do you address this kind of problem where every major weapon system inside of NATO is a crime? Who knows? We think the easiest way is for NATO to write a check, but they don't want to do that. We think the easiest way is for the British to write a very big check because they need to. They certainly don't want to do that. We think that the United States government should write a check as well. They don't want to do that. They're broke. They've allowed the British to offshore virtually all of the profits from the tech sector, oddly enough, from commingling funds obtained from softwares controlled by US6370629 into British tax havens. Same with the military stuff as well. So the U.S. government's broke. I mean, broke. That said, where's the end of this? The answer is before the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Basically what happens is we take a number of nations individually and a number of companies individually to the Permanent Court of Arbitrations. We show the Permanent Court of Arbitrations exactly where in their systems they use US6370629. If they are European entities or the British government, post-Brexit is meaningless, doesn't change anything in this situation. The Permanent Court of Arbitration finds that they illegally took the intellectual property and used it in weapon systems. They also find that anybody who has been killed by those weapon systems was wrongfully killed and has a damage claim against those governments. Air freaking tight. Can you imagine what this means to the heirs of all of those children killed in Yemen or Syria or Iraq? Bankruptcy for the Gulf State. The Gulf State Coalition. Bankrupt. Freaking bankrupt. This isn't a joke. It's not funny. We're talking about more money than Bahrain, Kuwait, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have in just damage claims, all because of a patent fraud committed by the British government and covered up by NATO. All because of a set of patent frauds these governments used as weapons against those parties, and now a set of patent frauds that are actionable before the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Additionally, before the War Crimes Court as well, and we'll get into that when we talk about the war crime issues. But I just wanted you to understand about how badly Britain has screwed the world here and why they did it. So, have a nice day.